Hey, what's up, Moose family? Jim Flanagan here. Another edition of Moose Roundup here as we narrow down here in the playoffs. We're getting to the semis and the finals of the AHL. As you guys could see, this week, without Goofy J, no surprise there. If you guys haven't been on MooseOnIce.com, Goofy J suspended, out of action, but in his place, another guy here that's been on a hiatus. I haven't seen him around maybe weeks. I'm talking about Jason Blaze. Blaze, how the hell have you been, man? What's going on?
Well, I've been keeping busy, but something keeps bringing me back to the Moose. I think it might be the players or the controversy that stirs up around here. Something I like, and that's why I'm back.
Hey, emo meltdowns, you can't get away from them here at MooseOnIce.com. Like I said, unfortunately, Goofy J's not here. Thanks for filling in, Blaze. Let's look at this, man. Let's start things off first in the MAHL, where it's the semifinals. Like I said last week, they did start the playoffs earlier than the MHL, and we're down to the 4 teams. Now it's going to be down to top 2 teams. But let's look at the semifinals. We had the Bad Mother Puckers, who pulled an upset in round number 1, beating the number 2 team, and now they played against the number 1 team, Channel 4 News team. Now, both of these semifinal games were extremely great. They all went to game number 7, and this one here, first the Bad Mother Puckers took game 1 4-2. They take game 2 4-2 as well. I mean 4-3 game 1, 4-2 game 2. They have a 2-0 lead. Game 3 goes to overtime, double overtime, but then finally Johnny Blaze of the Bad Mother Puckers of the Channel 14 News team gives the News team the win there to narrow the series 2-1. And then after that, Channel 4 News team starts rolling. They win game 4, 7-2. Take the next one, 5-4. But then Bad Mother Puckers win game 6, 5-2 to go to game 7. And then finally in game 7, it's Channel 4 News team, 4-2. There's no upset in this one. Almost. I mean, went to game 7. But it's going to be Rocco going his 3rd time going to the finals here in the MAHL. What do you think about this series here, Blaze?
Well, what can I say? There was almost an upset. I think maybe one team got too cocky after the first 2 games, 2 wins there. They took their foot off the pedal, let the other team come back, and then they're like, holy shit, these guys are actually starting to beat us. We might as well play. They played game 6 and then game 7. It was a free-for-all. Both captains probably like, it's 0-0. The series is 0-0. Next game wins. And unfortunately, the Bad Mother Puckers didn't win.
Yeah, I mean, they came close, but they didn't win here. And I think it came down to that game 3, because if they won that double overtime game, the Bad Mother Puckers would have been up 3-0 in this series. And it's very hard to come back when you're down 3-0. But Channel 4 News team did win that double overtime game. And after that, man, they took off and they're going on to the finals. On the other side, we had Mike Tyson's Tattoo taking on the South Park Elementary Cows. A great series here. A couple blowout games. Game 1, Tyson's Tattoo win it 6-2. But then game number 2, the Cows win it 8-3. And they take game 3, 7-2. Now, from my sources, what I hear on here, of the South Park Elementary Cows, Saint 0420 played in game number 1 where they lost. They lost the game, and then I believe Sniper ended up benching Saint for the rest of the games here. For the remainder of the 6 games, they won the next 2, but then the following day, the Tattoos come back here. They win 7-1. They lose game 5, 4-3, but they win game 6, 5-2, and then they take game 7, 4-3. Back and forth here. I think the difference maker here, Frosty Nightmare. He didn't play in the first 3 games, but he did come back in the last 4, and the Tattoos come back here and go on to the finals. What do you think about this series here, Blaze?
This is probably the one for the season, man. The series of the season. 2 top teams facing each other. They got diesel players with Sobi IR Fears and Sniper. Sure, Sniper may have been a little brash, a little, paranoid when it comes to benching Saint there, but they did win 2 games afterwards, and sometimes it's a good decision, but in the long run it turned out probably, in my opinion, be the difference maker there.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know if it would have been different. I mean, State did get benched after game one, but they still lose. Cows are eliminated on here. It was a tough series, but the Tattoos find a way to win. They go on to the finals. So it's going to be the Mike Tyson's Tattoo taking on the Channel 4 News team. Blaze, if you had to pick a winner here, man, who are you going with here in the finals?
Well, me and this captain don't see eye to eye that often. But I'm gonna have to go with Mike Tyson's Tattoo. With Frosty Nightmare and Captain Funbags, you know, that team's just diesel as fucking. This team could legitimately also win the MHL playoffs if they had the chance. That's how diesel I think this team is.
I think they're diesel as well. And I think the difference maker here, Frosty Nightmare's got to be in this series. When they got Frosty Nightmare, Captain Funback, Scotty Main on there, this team is hot. But they're going against a great team and Channel 4 News team. And this is Rocco's third time. His third time the charm here for Rocco in winning the cup. Or he's going to lose it again, just like the Buffalo Bills in the NFL. We'll see if that's the case here, if the Rocco curse continues or if he wins. It's going to be a tough series here, man. I don't know, Tyson's Tattoo are looking hot, looking real good in the playoffs. But I got to go with Rocco, man. I don't think he's going to lose again. I think this is the season, man. Buddy H9 is going down here in the finals. That's my pick here. All right, we'll be back. When we come back, we're going to go to the MHL side. And we also have Jason's Blaze top players of the semifinals here in the MAHL.
Moose Radio is live internet radio broadcasted on Block Talk Radio. The Flan Fan Show airs 5 days a week, Monday through Friday at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Join Jim Flanagan, Giant 918, and Goofy J, plus other guest hosts and co-hosts. It's the Flan Fan Show. Sunday nights, it's Moose Roundup, the #1 rated video show on MooseNice.com. Join us as we take a look at the week in the Moose Hockey League. Who's hot? Who's not? Also, the top players of the week, the top forward, top D-man, top goaltenders, as well as other topics and discussions. Every Sunday night, it's Moose Roundup.
All right, now heading on to the MHL portion. It was round number 1 here in the MHL. First up, man, we had a lot of upsets here in the first round, in my opinion. First series here, the Dog Pound taking on the Angle of Our Dangles. It's the number 7 seed taking on the number 2 seed. And what a surprise here. Dog Pound wins game 1 3-1. They take game 2 4-3. Then the Dangles come back here 3-1 game 3. And but then game number 4 here, Dog Pound in overtime win it 3-2 to go up in the series 3-1. Then the Dangles start rolling here. Game 5 they win it 6-4. Dangles do win game 6 2-1 to make this go to game 7. But then in game 7 it's the Dog Pound in overtime to win it 3-2 and to take the series here 4-3 games. In that OT there, it was an ice cream truck that puts the Dog Pound into the semifinals. What do you think here, Blaze? Upset or what, man?
Oh, for sure it's an upset. You know, when I was still around before I took my hiatus, you know, we were wondering who's gonna lose their undefeated streak there. Was it gonna be the Angle of Our Dangles, or was it gonna be Global's team? I believe it was. And just the fact that number 7 seed beat Daly's team, and let alone, you know, any team in the 2nd seed there, that's an upset in its own right. But if you also notice, more times than not, if you look in any sport, usually sometimes the 7th seed does beat the 2nd seed. It happens more times than not, in my honest opinion. And, you know, am I really surprised this happened? Yes. But did I expect it to happen? Of course not. But it did happen.
Yeah, it did happen, man. I mean, a lot of people had Daly, they predicted Daly to maybe even win the Moose Cup this season, man. Not the case here. Early exit out of here, first round. And WG Phil, first-time captain here, doing a great job with the Dog Pound to advance to the semifinals. We'll see if this number 7 seed has got what it takes to get to the finals here for the Moose Cup. Moving on here, another series here, which a lot of people seen as an upset as well. How about this team, Global Warming, taking on Super Smash Brothers. Now the Smash Brothers lose game 1 4-3. They lose game 2 2-0 shutout. Then finally win game 3 in overtime 2-1. But then Global Warming wins 2-1. They lose game 5 3-2, and they wrap things up in game 6 4-0 to take the series here 4-2. I didn't think Global Warming finished the season off great. They took on the Smash Brothers, and they knocked them out here in the first round. What do you think about this, Blaze?
I remember this right. It's got Flexible Pancake written all over it. This guy, like I said at the beginning of the season, goalie's a necessity that everybody needs. A lot of goaltending fails so far this season. This goalie here, Flexible, you know, he struggled for a little bit there, but he finally found this game. With 2 shutouts this series, that's just beast.
I agree, man. Flexible Pancake in the MHL, solid season here for him in season number 12. You mentioned the 2 shutouts. I think he only gave up under 10 goals in the whole series here, which is unbelievable. And Global's team here, Global Warming, move on and advance to the next round. Next series here, Trojan Man taking on No Trade Clause. 2 teams evenly matched, I thought, here. Game 1, No Trade Clause, win it 4-3 in overtime. But then Trojan Man, game 2, take it 3-1. Then another overtime game here. It's No Trade Clause winning it 3-2. But then after this, Trojan Man take it 2-1. They take game 5 4-1. And they take game 6 3-2 in overtime to win this series here 4-2. What about this series here, Blaze?
Well, you know, the only games that the No Trade Clause won were overtime games, so they were pretty even up in terms of the aspect. I'm assuming those were either home games, right?
Yeah.
If that's the case, then the home field advantage sometimes, even on NHL 12, it helps out a little bit there. And maybe that's why they got their 2 wins there. But overall, the other team was the stronger team.
Yeah. And what a great job Octizzy done here, especially after that trade, especially after picking up NJ Ski. This team, you can't look at their record, man, because this team swapped guys around. They changed. It's a revamped team, man. And they're going on to the semifinals. Watch out for the Trojan, man. And the last series here, BBQ Gone Wild taking on Disney on Ice. And this series wasn't even close, Blaze. It's a sweep here. And these scores here are just out of this world, man. 9-1, 6-1. Then, okay, 3-1 game 3. But then game 4, 13-3. The controversial game number 4. And that's all she wrote for BBQ Gone Wild. They're out of here. Just like last season with Eric's team got out of here. This team got blown out. Wasn't even close here. Blaze, are you surprised at all?
Well, from what I heard, not at all. There was a lot of emo-ness going on. There's suspensions that's been dealt. This is why Goofy's not around anymore. And, you know, that may be the, you know, the ending of the BBQ, but that might have also been the ending of Goofy J himself for season 13 at least. What can I say? Goofy, just take your suspension. Don't be a little bitch about it. Don't whine. Sure, whining's fine for maybe the first day or the night, but, you know, after that, man, that's just you being an asshole. Like, take it like a man and move on.
Oh, man. I thought we were going to get another Jason Blaze rant here live on Moose Roundup, man. We haven't seen one of those. But, yeah, man, you mentioned the suspension. It's posted on mooseice.com. And, you know, what can you say, man? He's out for season 13, which is going to suck. Sucks for the media team as well, man. Goofy J did bring a lot here to the media team. Okay, so now we look at it here, man. It's down to the 4 teams here in the MHL. It's going to be the Dog Pound taking on Disney on Ice and Global Warming taking on the Trojan, man. First, the Dog Pound here against Disney on Ice. They took down the number 2 team. Can they take down the number 1 team, Disney on Ice, man? What do you think here, Blaze?
Nah, I don't think so. I was comparing the player stats there, and not one player on the Dog Pound has reached 100 points. Almost all their forwards on Disney on Ice, if not all their forwards, have over 100 points there. lightning doesn't strike twice, unfortunately, and it's not going to strike here.
Blaze says no. I say no is the same thing, man. I think Disney on Ice continues to roll until a team shows me they could compete against these guys. You know, especially how they blew teams out, how they took out BBQ Gone Wild. You know, they got that controversy out of the way. I don't think it's in their head as well, and they're gonna do the same here. We might see another blowout here in this series. I think they take it in 4, maybe 5 games. The other series here, Global Warming taking on the Trojan Man. Who's coming out on top? Who's going to the Moose Cup Finals here, Blaze?
Well, I've always been a fan of goaltending. I always talk about goaltending, and I think Global Warming's going to win this based off of goaltending. If Flexible Pancake can continue on his winning ways, and the way he beasted out in the first round there, I think they're going to take this game, maybe in 7.
Okay. In the regular season, Global did win. They beat the Trojan Men, but that was early in the season. You know, they won 2 out of the 3 games. Now it's a different Trojan Men team. I think this series is going to be close, man. It might go even 7 games here. And I think, I don't know, man. I mean, Octizzy has got something good going there. I think he pulls another upset here and goes on to the finals and takes down Lobo here. That's my opinion. We'll see what happens, Blaze. We come back. It's the closing here of the show. We got our top players, top forwards, top D-mans, top goaltenders in the playoffs here for the last week. We'll be right back.
MHL Sports Center is a video recap of the Moose Hockey League games. Gives you the full box scores along with scoreboards and video highlights. In addition, we have the top players of the night. Plus, on the weekends, it's the top plays of the week. Ladies and gentlemen, this is MHL Sports Center. All shows are presented to you by the Moose Hockey League. www.mooseonice.com. Follow us on Twitter at Moose on Ice, a 6-for-6 hockey league for the Xbox 360.
Welcome back, fellas, and as promised, we got the top players from round number 1 here in the MHL. Jason Blaze, who's your top forward for round number 1?
I'm gonna have to say Drift King there. You know, it doesn't take a whole lot to score. Sure, you know, you can fancy dangle it, but you always need a guy to give you the puck to start with. And that's why I'm going with Drift King here. Although he had 4 goals, he had 21 assists, which equals 25 points. Those 21 assists is essential, and that's what you need to start either a one-timer or a breakout pass there. That's what you need to win, and that's what he provided.
I would give to any of the forwards on Disney on Ice. You know, I mean, they put up numbers like crazy. Any of the 3 forwards, Jason Morski, Stealth Luka D, or Drift King, gets my top player tonight. What about the D-man here? Who's your top defenseman round number 1?
I'm going to go with Ice Cream Truck. You know, looking at his stats, 2 goals, 8 assists. Sure, that's not a lot for a defenseman, it is. But the fact that he also had 2 short-handed goals and a game-winning goal. And if I remember correctly, you said he had the game-winning goal to win the series. So, just for that, he's got my top defenseman pick.
Yeah, I mean, Game 7 in overtime, and it'll be a team like the Angles of our Dangles, Ice Cream Truck, nonetheless, definitely deserving top D-man. And what about the goaltender? Who's your top goalie? I know you talked about him on the show, most of the show. Who is it, Jason Blaze?
It's Flexible Pancake. He has 4 wins, 2 shutouts, 88.85 save percentage, and a 1.43 goals against average. Nothing tops that. This guy was solid, and that's what his team needed him to be, and that's why they're moving on.
Okay. Great pick. I love the pick. I think that was the reason why Global Warming is in the semifinals. They're going to need another big series here from Flexible Pancake. Can this newcomer in the MHL prove what it takes here to get to the Moose Cup? We'll see. They got a tough road here against the Trojan Man. All right, let's hop on to the other side now, the MAHL in the semifinals. Who's your top forward, Blaze?
I gotta go with Sylvie IR Fears. He has 11 goals, 11 assists, 22 points. When you got a guy that can pass as much as he shoots, and the puck goes in the net, that's talented as far as I know, man. You know, sure, there's always assist man and there's always shooters, but when you can do both equally and have a high point output, you're like a Phil Castle in the NHL, man. You're a beast as fuck.
Yeah, and on top of that, he also had 2 game-winning goals in that series. They lost the series, but nonetheless, you know, he put up 22 points, kept South Elementary Cows in it, but, you know, unfortunately, they're out of here. What about your D-man, man? Who's the top defenseman in the semis?
I am Gina Ash. He had 9 assists and 22 hits, man. If you can hit and you can get points, that's Diesel in my books. Most defensemen are either going for hits or playing more defensively. If you go for hits, you usually don't score a lot or get points a lot. And this guy managed to get 9 points. That's Diesel.
Yeah, I mean, I talk about Mike Tyson's tattoo, about that great offense, you know, with Fun Bags, with Frosty Nightmare, Scotty Main. But that defenseman there, I am Nash, along with Buddy H9, these guys played great D in the semifinals. We'll see if they continue in the finals. And then lastly here, top goaltender of the semis. Give it to me, please.
It's Lefty Clayton. He has 2 wins. I believe I have 3 games there with an 85.7 save percentage and a 2.23 goals against average. Sure, it's not up to par to MHL goalie, you know, top goalies, but that's Diesel's fucking the AHL. And considering this guy was a full-time waiver last season, and this guy can come in this season and, you know, just beast it out, that's good in my books.
Yeah, Lefty Clayton definitely doing a solid job. I don't know if we got all those stats on Lefty Clayton or if somebody else played goalie for the bad motherfuckers the remainder of the games. I think he was only good for 1 series, but this guy definitely kept the team in there. He won 2 games. He only lost that overtime game. Definitely a solid pick in goaltending. But I like the other guy as well, the other brother of Lefty Clayton, Tired Tons of Clay, man. I thought he had a solid series for Mike Tyson's tattoo, coming out with 4 wins. He had a great save percentage as well. We'll see what happens, man. He goes on to the finals. The other brother does not. And that's it, man. That's it for Moose Roundup here, Blaze. Thanks for coming on. Give me your players of the night and your predictions. We'll see what happens in the finals. I believe they got a radio show this Monday. We'll post that on moosenights.com for you. It's Jim Flanagan here, along with Jason Blaze. Good night, everybody.
Go fuck yourself, Legion.